I set up my tent about 2 months ago. I thought it would be a nice escape from everything, just me and the Appalachian Mountains. The woods were peaceful. I made a fire, roasted marshmallows, and took pictures of the sunset. It felt good at first. As the last light faded, I heard something. It was faint, like laughter. I shook my head. It had to be my imagination. I brushed it off and focused on my gear. But then the laughter stopped. I felt uneasy, like something was watching me. I told myself it was just the woods, nothing to worry about. Days passed. I hiked trails, captured the light filtering through the trees. My photos turned out great, but at night, that laughter echoed in my head. It swirled around me just before I slept. I tried to ignore it. I thought maybe it was just the wind, but deep down, I felt something was wrong. I found strange markings on a tree. They were symbols, unlike anything I'd seen. My heart raced as I stared. I didn't remember those marks when I set up camp. Maybe kids had come through, but it felt off. I shifted my eyes, convinced I was being watched. One night, I thought I saw movement between the trees. Shadows shifted just out of reach. My breath caught. I wanted to get a better look, but when I turned, nothing was there. I felt a chill, like someone was right behind me. I tried to shake it off, but dread filled me. I needed to calm down. Then I found scraps of food near my cooking spot. They didn't look like they belonged to any animal. There were bits of everything. Who or what was sharing this space with me? It set my nerves on edge. The thought of packing up crossed my mind, but I felt cornered in my own campsite. As I loaded my gear, I heard it again, the laughter. This time it was close. I spun around, my heart racing. I thought I saw a figure, but all I could see were trees and shadows. Then came a whisper. My name. I bolted. I ran to my car, panicking as I jumped in. The engine roared to life, and I sped down the mountain. My mind raced with questions. What was that out there? I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. As I drove away, I looked at the road ahead. The mountains loomed behind me, dark and silent. I kept glancing in the rearview mirror, hoping nothing was following, but I had made it out. Still, I left with questions echoing in my head. I never returned. I couldn't figure out what I had encountered. Something strange lingered in the back of my mind. The laughter haunted my nights, a reminder of that trip. I don't think I'll ever know what really happened out there. The weeks passed, but the sound of laughter haunted my waking moments. I tried to move on. I went about my life, but something always seemed off. Nighttime brought the laughter back, ringing in my ears like a chilling reminder of my time in those woods. I couldn't shake it. It felt like the mountains were calling me back. Curiosity mixed with dread. I wanted answers, but I was terrified of what I might find. One night, I gathered my courage and decided to contact the ranger station. If anyone would know about strange happenings in the woods, it would be them. I dialed the number, my heart in my throat. A friendly voice answered, and I explained my experience. There was silence on the line. Then she said something that made me freeze. You weren't the only one. We've had reports of people hearing laughter and seeing shadows. Some say it's a group that roams the woods. My mind raced. The idea of others experiencing something similar sent chills down my spine. Who are they? What do they want? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. She hesitated. We call them the feral people. No one knows how long they've been there. They avoid contact with civilians, but have been known to appear near campsites. My hands shook. I didn't want to hear more. Yet, a part of me pressed on. What do they do? Listen, it's best to stay away. They seem harmless, but we don't know their intentions. Just don't go back into the woods alone. I hung up, still reeling. Feral people? The very thought sent a wave of anxiety through me. I had taken a risk by being out there alone. Did I come too close? Was that laughter a warning? As I lay in bed that night, tension coiled around me like a tight wire. I tried to sleep, but sleep evaded me. Instead, I rummaged through my photographs from the trip, hoping to find some sign, some clue. I scrutinized each image, wishing to catch a glimpse of what had haunted my trip. That's when I saw it. An odd shadow in the background of one photograph. A figure stood just beyond the trees, its outline barely discernible. My gut twisted. I didn't remember seeing anyone that day. I zoomed in, heart racing. The shape appeared human, yet something was amiss. Its eyes reflected a sharp glint, and it seemed to grin. A chillingly wide grin. I felt sick. I glanced out my window into the dark night, ensuring nothing was there. Every creak of the house made my pulse quicken. I couldn't shake the feeling that the laughter would return, that the entity from the woods was reaching out for me. What had I stumbled upon? Had they watched me during my stay? As the clock ticked by, I made a decision. I had to go back. I needed to confront whatever lingered in those woods. I couldn't let the fear control me. But what would I find this time? I packed my gear again, with a newfound determination. The mountains beckoned, a haunting melody in the distance, and I knew I had to face it all once more. The drive back to the mountains felt surreal. I could see the peaks looming in the distance like ancient sentinels. They had held their secrets for too long, and I was determined to uncover them. Anxiety churned in my stomach as I parked the car at the trailhead. Everything felt different this time. The air was thicker, charged with something I couldn't quite define. I laced up my boots and hefted my pack, filled with a mix of gear and a desperate sense of purpose. The woods welcomed me back with an eerie silence. My footsteps echoed, the only sound breaking the heavy stillness. I wandered deeper, retracing my steps while keeping an eye out for signs, the shadows from my photographs perhaps. As I walked, the quiet began to gnaw at me. I noticed small changes. The trees appeared denser, their twisted branches reaching out like fingers. I felt like I was being watched, but every time I turned, there was nothing there, just shadows flickering in the corners of my vision. I pressed on, reminding myself why I had come. Hours into my trek, I stopped to rest at a clearing. It felt familiar, like coming home. I sat on a fallen log and took out my water. Then a sound broke the stillness. Laughter, distant and haunting, just as I had heard before. My heart raced, but I couldn't run away, not when I was so close to the truth. I decided to follow the sound, my pulse pounding in rhythm with each step I took. The laughter grew louder, wrapping around me in a twisted embrace. It was no longer distant. It felt intimate, as if someone was inviting me in. I pushed through the thickets, heart pounding in my ears. That's when I saw it, a flicker of movement among the trees. I wasn't alone. Shapes darted behind the trunks, quick and nimble. I blinked, and they were gone, like fireflies vanishing into the shadows. I felt a chill run down my spine. This wasn't a coincidence. They knew I was here. I called out, "Hello? Is anyone there?" My voice felt small, swallowed by the woods. The laughter halted abruptly, replaced by an unsettling silence. I scanned the area, every shadow suddenly feeling alive. Then, from my left, a figure emerged, a child. But something was wrong. It had dark hair matted and wild, clothes torn and dirty. Its eyes were wide, unblinking, and searching. I felt my breath hitch in my throat. "Are you lost?" I asked, but it didn't respond. Instead, it smiled, revealing a grin too large for a child. It pointed deeper into the woods, the gesture feeling both innocent and menacing. Suddenly, everything around me collapsed into chaos. The laughter erupted once more, loud and frenzied, echoing through the trees. The child spun away, blending back into the shadows, and I stumbled back in shock. Panic surged. I turned to run, but the laughter intensified, a cacophony that seemed to come from all directions. The woods closed in, and all at once, I was not alone. Figures swarmed the edges of my vision, their haunting giggles ringing relentlessly in my ears. I had to escape. As I sprinted back the way I came, the laughter chased me, mocking and echoing through the trees. I barely made it back to the trail when I glanced over my shoulder. No one was there. The silence returned, but now it was worse, more oppressive. In the midst of my flight, I stumbled into clear daylight, but deep inside me, the realization hit. This wasn't over. I was only beginning to scratch the surface of what lay hidden in those mountains. What had I just encountered? I had more questions than answers. As I caught my breath, I knew this journey was far from complete. I felt it. A calling from the woods remained, pulling me back. The sun was beginning to dip below the horizon when I made my way back down the trail. The light painted the trees in a warm glow, but I felt an unwanted chill creeping into my bones. I knew I should leave, but something inside urged me to return, to delve deeper into the mysteries that haunted me. Ignoring the unsettling sensation, I found a spot just off the trail and set up camp. I needed to gather my thoughts. My mind was a whirlpool of the past few hours, the laughter, the child, and now I was faced with the reality of being out there alone, more vulnerable than ever. I pulled out my notebook, jotting down every detail I could remember. Would it help make sense of what I'd experienced? Night quickly fell, draping the woods in a thick blanket of darkness. I built a fire, its flickering light pushing back the shadows that crept too close for comfort. But even the flames couldn't banish the gnawing feeling of eyes watching me. I stifled any urges to look around, but it was impossible to shake the sensation. Just as I began to calm my racing heart, the laughter returned, weaving through the trees. It was different this time, more melodic, like a siren song. I recognized it, but it felt closer now, as though they played just outside the reach of my firelight. My instinct screamed at me to confront it, but fear held me in place. Suddenly, the laughter waned, replaced by whispers. I strained to hear, but every time I thought I'd caught a word, it dissolved into soft, unintelligible rustles. My thoughts raced. What if the child had led me into a trap? The idea sent a wave of tension through my body, and I felt rooted in place, unable to decide whether to flee or to investigate. Then I heard the unmistakable crack of a branch snapping behind me. Whipping around, my heart dropped. I saw a figure lurking just beyond the tree line. It was hard to make out any features, but it was tall and gaunt, almost blending into the darkness. Panic surged again. "Who's there?" I shouted, my voice barely managing to mask my fear. There was no answer, just the sound of light laughter echoing around me. My fire flickered as a gust of wind swept through the clearing, and suddenly, the figure was gone. I felt the cold sweat trickle down my back. This was madness. Had my mind fractured after the eerie encounter with the child? Was I losing it? Just as I began to doubt myself, I heard that guttural whispering again, closer this time. It was undeniable. Somebody, or something, was trying to communicate. Then I saw it, a flash of light in the trees. I blinked, and it was gone, but it was enough to gather my resolve. I had to face whatever this was. Gathering my courage, I stood up from the log and edged toward the forest's edge. That's when I tripped over something hard on the ground. Falling forward, I caught my breath and looked down. What lay beneath the leaves was not a rock, but a small, weathered doll. Its button eyes seemed to glisten in the dim light. I picked it up, my gut twisting at the sight of it. My thoughts raced as I realized what it might mean. This doll felt too familiar, too linked to the child I had seen earlier. The situation was escalating, and the woods seemed to come alive with anticipation. I knew now that my night was just beginning. But before I could process this realization more deeply, a voice broke the silence, chilling me to my core. "We're waiting for you." The words echoed through the trees, and the air thickened around me. Suddenly, I felt the unmistakable urge to turn back. The woods weren't done with me yet. The darkness wrapped around me like a heavy coat, amplifying every rustle and whisper in the woods. I held the doll tight in my hands, its button eyes somehow more unsettling than comforting in this eerie atmosphere. "We're waiting for you." The phrase rolled through my mind like a bitter echo, each time fueling dread. I didn't know whether to drop the doll and run or to press on. My instincts screamed caution, but a strange curiosity sparked within me. Who were they? What were they waiting for? I felt a magnetic pull forward, compelling me to step deeper into the shadows. Taking a deep breath, I ventured cautiously toward the tree line. The air felt heavier here, thick with an unseen energy. I squinted into the darkness, searching for any sign of movement. The laughter was gone now, replaced by an unsettling stillness that pressed against my eardrums. "Hello?" I called out, though my voice trembled. A part of me wished for an answer, while another part warned me about what I might find. Hesitation gnawed at my resolve. I glanced back at the flickering fire, a safe beacon in the unforgiving night, and the warmth of its glow beckoned me to return. But the weight of the doll in my grip reminded me why I was here. Then I heard it, a faint rustling nearby, a shuffle against the leaves. I turned sharply, my heart pounding in my chest. The sound came again, closer this time, and I instinctively stepped back, bracing myself for whatever lay ahead. I could smell damp earth and decay, and it twisted my stomach into knots. Out of the corner of my eye, I spotted movement. The figure returned, standing just at the edge of my vision. This time, I could see clearer, a tall shadow, an outline more defined against the bark of a tree. It didn't move, just watched. Fear washed over me, but I couldn't look away. "What do you want?" I shouted, searching for strength in my voice. My body trembled, and I felt foolish for raising my voice into the abyss. "Show yourself!" Nothing happened. The figure remained silent, a mere silhouette against the dense foliage. The whispers began again, this time hauntingly melodic. They twisted around me, drawing closer like fog. "We're waiting," they chorused, the sound weaving in and out with an almost playful tone. Just then, an intense flash of light pierced the dark, illuminating the area for a split second. I saw faces, ghastly, hollow eyes staring back at me. I stumbled backwards in shock, my mind racing. "What is happening?" I murmured, panic clawing at my throat. I desperately wanted to flee, but felt paralyzed by fear and curiosity. Before I could process it, the light faded, leaving only the shadows and the whispers. The figure stepped forward, within arm's reach, and I could finally see a glimpse of its face, a gaunt, pale expression, skin stretched taut over bone. I felt sick. My only instinct was to run, but my legs wouldn't cooperate. "Help us," it rasped, its voice a mere whisper, yet impossibly loud in my head. Then the shadows surged around me, pulling me in every direction. Suddenly, I broke free from the paralysis. The urgency resonated within me like a drum, and I turned back toward my campsite. I had to escape, yet I felt them close behind me, close enough to reach out and touch. Just as I approached the firelight, the shadows clawed at my back, and the laughter returned, echoing among the trees. I glanced back one last time, only to find empty space where the figure had been moments before. That's when I knew I was still in danger. I stumbled back toward the safety of the fire, heart racing and breath hitching. But as I reached the light, I could still hear the whispers. And in that moment, I understood. No matter how far I ran, they wouldn't let me go easily. The night was far from over. The fire crackled, casting long shadows that twisted unnaturally across the ground. I threw more logs onto the flames, hoping the added light would ward off whatever lingered in the darkness. My hands shook, and I dropped the last piece, sending embers spiraling into the night sky. Just a trick of the mind, I muttered to myself, trying to shake off the dread. But the whispers still danced around me, weaving through the night air, intoxicating and chilling. I forced myself to sit down, gripping the doll tightly, feeling its cold surface against my palm. It felt alive, a constant reminder of the figure that had emerged from the woods. I tried to reason with myself. It's just a story, right? I pretended to believe it. However, a part of me felt that tonight was different. I wasn't just camping in the woods. I was stepping into something darker, something that was waiting for me. The fire flickered, and I watched the flames dance, lost in thought. That's when I noticed something shifting in the tree line. At first, it was just a faint outline, a shadow that seemed to pulse with life. But soon, two more shapes emerged, merging into the night like dark smoke. I squinted, my heart thudding in my chest. They moved slowly, almost gliding towards me. My instincts screamed to run, but I was stuck, rooted to my spot, unable to tear my gaze away. The figures came closer, and I could make out their features. Thin, stretched faces with eyes that glimmered like chipped glass. "Help us," one of them whispered, the voice a blend of desperation and longing. Just like before, the words seemed to echo in my mind. Was it the same voice? Had it followed me from the darkness? "No, no!" I yelled, but my protest felt feeble against their haunting presence. The three figures paused at the edge of the firelight, their faces illuminated and yet shadowed, like a nightmarish reflection. I remembered the stories I'd heard, tribal tales of feral people who roamed these woods. Were these them? I shook my head, trying to clear the images fighting for dominance in my thoughts. "Why are you here?" I whispered, fear edging my voice. The figures didn't respond, but moved closer still, their eyes fixed on the doll. "Come, it's time," another echoed, and the shadows around them seemed to swirl, amplifying their haunting nature. The words sent a shiver down my spine, and I felt the ground beneath me tremble with an uneasy energy. Suddenly, one of the figures reached out a bony hand, fingers elongating like the branches of the surrounding trees. Instinct kicked in, and I scrambled to my feet, racing for the far side of the fire. "Stay back!" I hollered, desperate and terrified. But the shadows weren't done. As I turned, I realized they were no longer just watching. They surged forward, almost blending with the night and the flickering flames, shadows twisting and warping around me. The heat from the fire felt inadequate against the chill creeping up my spine. Then I saw it, a flicker of movement from the woods behind them, something much larger, and my heart sank. Whatever I had invoked was coming for me. "Run!" I screamed at myself, and without a second thought, I dashed toward the path that led deeper into the woods, the whispers engulfing me once again. The laughter crescendoed, and I knew I had to find a way to break their hold before it was too late. I sprinted through the underbrush, branches snapping under my feet, each step a battle against both the darkness and the weight of my own terror. The shadows were close, whispering my name, echoing around me like a haunting chorus. I didn't dare look back. I could feel their presence and icy fingers brushing against my skin, urging me to stop. "Don't look," I told myself, my heart racing. I stumbled over a root, falling to the ground. Pain shot through my knee, but I pushed myself back up, ignoring the sting. There was no time to dwell on the pain. I needed to escape whatever hunted me. The darkness was closing in. I kept running, breath coming in ragged gasps, and finally burst into a small clearing. Moonlight bathed the area in an eerie glow. My eyes darted around, searching for something, anything to help me. That's when I spotted it. A dilapidated cabin loomed in the corner of the clearing, its windows like hollow eyes watching me. I hesitated, fear clawing at my gut. Should I risk it? There was no choice. I could hear the soft padding of feet behind me, the whispers rising in an urgent chant. I dashed to the front door and yanked it open. It creaked ominously, the dark interior beckoning me inside. I stumbled into the cabin, slamming the door behind me. The darkness enveloped me, and I stood still, listening. The whispers had faded, but a palpable heaviness filled the air. My eyes adjusted, revealing a dusty space filled with broken furniture and shattered glass. Then something caught my eye, a faded photograph lying on the floor. Curiosity piqued, I stepped closer. It showed a family standing in front of the very cabin I was in, the adults smiling eerily, their eyes glinting with a strange light. Yet there was something off about the expression on their faces, something that sent a chill down my back, as if they knew a terrible secret. Suddenly, a noise from outside startled me, a thud followed by silence. My heart raced as I glanced toward the door. I wasn't alone. I hurried back to the window, peeking through the grimy glass. The figures stood outside, their faces still stretched and thin, each one looking toward the cabin, eyes glinting like knives. They were searching for me. "Help us," I heard one whisper again, but this time it felt different, more insistent. My instincts screamed at me to hide, but they also hotly collided with my longing to know what they wanted. Just then, the door shook violently, as if something or someone was trying to get in. Panic surged through me. In my frantic search for an escape, I spotted a trapdoor in the far corner of the cabin. I didn't hesitate. I rushed toward it and pulled it open. As I climbed down into the darkness, I felt a tug on my heart, a deep sense of loss. Whatever was down here was waiting for me, just like the shadows outside. I took a deep breath and stepped down into the cold unknown. That's when I heard the laughter again, an echoing cackle that seemed to seep through the walls of this hidden space. I froze, realizing something. Whatever this place was, I hadn't escaped. I had simply walked further into their world. Now, I had to confront whatever awaited me below. The air was thick as I descended the wooden steps into the darkness below. It felt like I was stepping into another realm. The darkness was absolute, swallowing any trace of light from above. It was cold, and I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me from the shadows. I took a tentative step forward, my foot landing on a damp, uneven surface. The lingering smell of earth mixed with decay filled my nostrils. I didn't want to make any noise, but the creaking floorboards protested with every cautious movement. My heart raced, but I fought to remain quiet. Then I saw it. A faint glow flickered in the distance. It drew me in, and against my better judgment, I moved closer. I squinted, trying to understand what it was. As I approached, The glow revealed itself to be a series of candles placed in a circle. Each candle was adorned with strange symbols carved into them. What was this place? And why did I feel that same pull, that familiar, desperate plea to help us? I glanced around, half expecting to see ethereal figures step from the shadows. Instead, there was silence. For a moment, I stood there, mesmerized by the flickering flames. But then I heard it again, a faint sound just at the edge of my hearing, like a whisper on the wind, yet it resonated inside me, urging me to listen. "Come to us." These words made my blood run cold. I turned, scanning the darkness, but there was nothing. I felt drawn to the circle of candles. Something about it was captivating, almost alive. I reached out to touch one, fingers brushing against the wax, when suddenly a loud crash echoed throughout the space. The sound ricocheted off the walls, sending me stumbling back. "Not them!" a disembodied voice shouted, filled with desperation and anger. It jolted me, snapping me back to reality. I backed away from the circle, my heart pounding. "Who's there?" I called out, my voice trembling. But all I received was silence, a heavy silence filled with a tense electricity. My instincts screamed at me to run, but my feet felt glued to the cold ground. I could sense that whatever was waiting just beyond the edge of darkness was revealing itself inch by inch. Then I caught movement out of the corner of my eye. Shadows flickered near the trapdoor, and the feeling of being watched became undeniable. I could almost make out shapes, pale and thin, slipping in and out of the shadows. They seemed to join the laughter I had heard earlier. Suddenly, a pair of glowing eyes locked onto mine. They were sharp, feral, wild. I knew then, without a shadow of a doubt, that these were not the people from the photograph. Whatever they weren't filled with light or joy. They were brimming with a primal power that sent chills down my spine. Then came a guttural growl, deep and menacing, echoing through the space. The eyes drew closer, and I turned to run, my breath hitching in my throat. I needed to escape this space, but the way back was blocked by the gathering shadows. As I stumbled in the dark, I realized that I had to find another way out before they closed in around me. That's when I heard the soft whisper again, this time louder, more defined. "Join us." My heart sank. Their pull was becoming stronger, and I could feel the weight of their desire wrapping around me. I had to resist. But how could I break free from their haunting invitation? I spun around, my heart pounding in my ears. Panic surged through me as I darted towards what I hoped was an exit. My hands fumbled against the damp walls, searching for a door, a crack, anything that could lead me back to the safety of the surface. The shadows shifted, merging together into a darker mass that seemed to follow my every step. The growl echoed again, more feral this time, and I felt a rush of cold air brush past me. They were getting closer, and I couldn't see where I was going. I held my breath to listen for any sign of an opening, but all I could hear was the whisper, "Join us." I gritted my teeth, forcing myself not to think about the alluring promise in their voice. My mind raced. I remembered the candles, their strange symbols. Maybe they were a ward or a protection. If I could reach them, perhaps I could break the hold they had over me. Even if it felt like a desperate gamble, it was the only option I had. I turned back toward the candle circle, the flickering light a beacon in the oppressive darkness. As I moved, the shadows lunged at me like hungry animals, snapping and teasing at my heels. I could feel the air grow heavy, thick with their malicious intent. I stumbled through the darkness, my hands brushing against the rough walls. I squinted for a hint of light, but the shadows were growing bolder, wrapping around me like living tendrils. I fell to my knees, crawling frantically toward the dim glow. Finally, I broke through into the circle, gasping as I reached the first candle. I gripped it tight, finding solace in its warmth for just a moment. I turned back towards the encroaching shadows, holding the candle like a shield. "Stay back!" I shouted, my voice trembling but defiant. The shadows halted for a heartbeat, their forms shifting in hesitation. It was the first moment I felt like I might have the upper hand. Without thinking, I glanced at the symbol carved into the wax. It looked like some sort of ancient rune, pulsing with a faint light responding to my presence. That's when I saw it, a glimmer at the base of the circle. Tucked away beneath the last candle was something metal. I reached for it, pulling it out, and my breath hitched as I recognized it for what it was: a key. A surge of hope rushed through me. I didn't know what it unlocked, but it didn't matter. I had to find a door, a confinement, anything. I got to my feet, clutching the candle in one hand and the key in the other. I peered around, looking for a way out. The growling grew louder, as if they had realized they were losing me. The shadows started to swirl, and panic fluttered back into my chest. Then I heard it again, clearer this time. "You cannot escape." This time, the voice didn't just whisper. It resonated deep within the chamber, echoing warnings and promises of despair. Anger blended with my fear, and I shouted back, "I won't be part of your twisted game." Just as the shadow surged towards me, I spotted a faint outline of a door in the far wall. I took off, carrying the candle and key, desperation lending strength to my trembling legs. But the shadows were gaining on me fast. I reached the door, adrenaline coursing through my veins. As I inserted the key into the lock, voices filled my head with pleading calls. I had to open it. The weight of their despair threatened to pull me down. But before I could turn the key, a cold hand grazed my back. I screamed, knowing I had only moments left. I had to break free. I had to escape. I twisted the key, praying it would work. The door creaked open, revealing a blinding light beyond the threshold. I lunged through the doorway, the warmth of the light wrapping around me like a protective embrace. The shadows clawed at my heels, reaching, pulling, their whispers rising to a fever pitch, a cacophony of despair. "Join us," they cried, but I pushed forward, my feet pounding the ground, the light beckoning me, pulling me with an urgency that felt like salvation. I stumbled out of the cabin and into the fresh air, the cold night breeze washing over me like a baptism, cleansing me of the sinister grip of the woods. I collapsed to the mossy ground, gasping for breath, the shadows receding behind me. The laughter faded, their voices now just echoes mingling with the rustling leaves. I lay there, heart racing and hands trembling, staring up at the stars blanketed across the sky. But as I collected myself, a sense of unease settled in my stomach. I glanced around the clearing, the ancient trees looming overhead, their twisted branches whispering secrets I couldn't hear. Had I truly escaped, or had I merely found temporary refuge? The darkness of the woods felt alive and watchful, an indomitable force waiting for my return. Gathering my composure, I pushed myself to my feet and made my way back toward the path I had originally come from. The pull of the cabin and its shadows lingered, almost as if I could feel their eyes on me, waiting, hungry for my return. I quickened my pace, terrified of what would happen if I lingered too long. As I navigated the familiar trail, the woods felt eerily quiet, the oppressive weight of presence gone, but replaced with an unsettling stillness. My heart raced, not just from fear, but from a strange addiction to the unknown. The phantoms of the feral people now etched into my mind. Who were they? Why did they need me? Questions spiraled in my mind, leaving me grappling with uncertainty. Just as I neared the edge of the woods, I felt a sudden urge to look back one last time. I turned, and for a fleeting moment, I thought I saw a figure at the threshold of the trees, a child's silhouette, dark against the horizon. I squinted, heart thudding in my chest, but in the next blink, it vanished, swallowed by shadows. I felt a pang of something I couldn't name, a mix of regret and intrigue. Was it really over, or had I only just begun to scratch the surface? I stepped away from the trees, shoving my hands deep into my pockets as the night air turned crisp around me. Upon reaching my car, I took a deep breath, unlocking the door and collapsing into the driver's seat. I sat there for a moment, staring blankly at the trees, the darkness unfurling its weight behind me. With shaking hands, I turned the key in the ignition and drove away, glancing in the rearview mirror one last time. The mountains loomed large, brimming with secrets, silhouetted against the moonlight. I sped down the winding road, the memories of laughter and whispers still haunting my thoughts. I recalled the faces of the figures and the child's plea. As I traveled farther from the mountains, my gut twisted with unresolved tension. Maybe one day I'd find the courage to return, to seek the answers waiting within the darkness. But for now, I was safe, or at least I hoped. I moved forward, the headlights piercing the night, each mile separating me from the trauma, but questions remained unanswered. They lingered in the spaces between my headlights. Thoughts, a reminder that danger and wonder lived side by side, forever intertwined. I moved to a different city not long after that night. Did the feral people still roam those woods? The laughter occasionally echoed in my mind, a chilling reminder of my encounter, but mostly I tried not to think about it. I had escaped, yet a part of me felt it would always be waiting, hidden in the shadows of those Appalachian Mountains.